YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. She is the mother figure for all of us. That's Erika Kirk, what the alt-right media is now calling her. And I have to cover a few things with Erika Kirk in regards to the message that she put out, which is coded and cryptic, about her husband, Charlie Kirk, and how they first met. And there's all certain keywords in there that'll make you go, And of course, not only will it make you go, and become suspicious, the story itself is so bogus. It's almost as bogus as the crocodile tears and the charade that was put on outside of the supposed casket of Charlie Kirk. But this is one of the headlines that's out there. She is the mother figure for us. In Erika Kirk, conservative women see the future. So I guess all it takes is your husband to supposedly get shot in the throat, and then for you to give a pump-up speech behind a podium 2 days after he got shot and showed no emotion about the death of your husband whatsoever, to see the future, to see the mother figure in all of us, right? So you even take those parts out of it, take the charade out of it. So somebody gets shot, the wife of that person is now a mother figure. I mean, these people are in deep. They are under such hypnosis. It's becoming just as bad as what we've seen with the Democrats and the stuff that they're defending and talking about with straight faces, how there are more than two genders. Right? We've seen that for years, telling us about how there's 52 genders and how men are born in the wrong body. And we've all sat there with our eyes just spinning back and forth going, what am I listening to right now? Well, you're seeing the conservative version of mind control in hypnotism. And of course, the other headline out there is that Erika Kirk is the new CEO of Turning Point. So just like I said, that character, Erika Kirk, was going to get pushed to the forefront. Erika Kirk is now entering the stage as Charlie Kirk now exits the stage. And this is the Instagram post that Erika put out. And you can see she's showing him waving here just moments before he's supposedly shot. And she says, "You loved witnessing excellence. It's why you love sports so much. You love watching the best of the best perform at the level of greatness God intended for them." So, okay, let's just start there with this Christian mindset. As if, God's putting people on this earth to play basketball or to play football. Man created sports, which are nothing more than entertainment. But, I mean, it's incredible that God intended for these people to perform to great levels by shooting a ball into a net. Right? And this is the stuff this is the people who are of this world. And the Bible warns about not being of this world, where we're seeing most of these Christians showing that they're of this world. And, of course, the controlled alt-right media and the controlled evangelical movement is responsible for this stuff, as if God actually cares. If you pray for your football team to score a touchdown, God's going to answer your prayer. Like, these are concerns on God's mind, and it's even worse that people would pray for things like that. But let's continue, because here's where the coding comes in. When we first started dating, we went to the basketball court to shoot around. I love seeing you in that element because time was irrelevant. It was just us. I mean, how fake does this sound? Let's be real. I mean, who wrote this? Is this right out of the Tavistock Institute, or is this Mossad writing it themselves? It was just us. The sound of sneakers squeaking and jump shots. We bonded over how Jordan was the GOAT. And you told me about your basketball days in high school, and I told you about my basketball days in college. Just two athletes escaping the demands of the world for a minute. So this is a week after her husband was supposedly shot in the neck. I mean, there's people out there who lose pets that are still mourning months later, years later. You probably, the rest of your life, right? I'm not saying you don't go on with your life, but you can't see that they're trying to draw people in here talking about what? Huh? This is a week after he's shot in the throat at 31 when you expect this guy to live to 70. You're talking about Michael Jordan? No, of course he's talking about Michael Jordan because he wants to integrate that keyword, GOAT. Again, right into this post because Christians are under a spell. So they can't see through signs, symbols, messaging, wording. They can't even see through the acting that they're witnessing in front of them. And I talked about this recently, right? GOAT, again, reference, Baphomet, Satanism. I've exposed the GOAT so many times over the years. Most of my longtime subscribers have heard it all, seen it all, right? But I guess not, because now we're seeing this stuff even coded in hoaxes and psyops right in front of everyone. That's how obvious this stuff is, but how dumbed down it proves everybody else actually is. So the Baphomet, again, mentioned the GOAT, and I just talked about this with the supposed shooter, Tyler Robinson. On his screen, you can debate the stuff with Valhalla all you want. That's GOAT Island right on the screen. You could see it side by side, blown up next to one another. So that was on his screen. This is a photo that the government released to all of us. When they said, we found the shooter, here are photos of him. This is what we were given, right? Clear as day on the computer screen. No explanation as to what he's doing, why he's standing there taking the picture. It looks odd enough. It's like a mugshot. But hey, stand still, I'm taking a photo. And then he happens to have Goat Island on the screen. So she's referencing goats. Again, more references. Goat Island, the goat, Baphomet, Satanism, Satanist. This is how they operate. Then we continue on. And listen to this. I remember seeing on your wrist a red bracelet. Interesting. Well, Charlie Kirk doesn't wear the red bracelet out in public, but he was wearing a red bracelet, right? So she's mentioning the red bracelet, of course, and that's the red string she's talking about of Kabbalah. For people that don't know, Kabbalah is sorcery and witchcraft. They wear these red bracelets out in the open. You can identify these people. I have videos that I've done 10 years ago talking about, look, you want to see a witch? You want to know who a witch is, who is around you or not, or see who these witches are in Hollywood? Look for a red bracelet. And of course, I talked about Madonna. Look no further, right? Madonna. Openly, everybody knows she follows the Kabbalah. What people don't know is that it's a book of spell casting and mysticism. Has tattooed right on her arm the tree of life. Now, is Madonna God's chosen people of Israel? Is she in Israel? I mean, do people start connecting the dots here with the synagogue of Satan and the actual Jews and who they are? No, they don't. They don't. So Madonna can pretend like she's got all this stuff. Does she qualify? She's got Hebrew on her wrist. Does she qualify as somebody who is God's chosen people when we all know that Madonna's a witch? Every conservative out there knows that Madonna's a witch, and they wouldn't defend Madonna, right? But you know who else wears these bracelets? Well, the people who are supposedly giving you the truth right in plain sight. Guys like Tucker Carlson, always wearing that bracelet. I've exposed him many times. You can go over to the website and find videos on Tucker, the secret societies. In the interview we just did with Conor McGregor inside of a Masonic hall, Masonic lodge. Couldn't be more honest. The problem is that they give you good truths. Tucker Carlson is a great speaker. This is how most of them are good speakers. No one's going to say that they're not good speakers. People are like, why are you trashing on these people? You're jealous of these people? These people are trained. They're good speakers. You can see how they lure people in. You can see how Trump lures people in with the jokes that he cracks and the little slights that he gives, and how people are entertained by him and they get sucked in. Tucker Carlson wears this bracelet, yet he openly kind of criticizes Israel. Don't you notice that a lot of them do? Because what they're trying to do is bring in laws, and they're going to be lumped to these people who are going to be looked at as anti-Semitic when these people are working for Israel. They're going to say Tucker Carlson, all these Candace Owens, all these people are talking against Israel. They're awake. They're awake. No, they're the new face of the conspiracy movement. They're not breaking down the teachings in the Kabbalah, the Zohar. They're not telling you the stuff that it says in there about Jesus so that Christians could actually figure out that it's the synagogue of Satan referenced in Revelation are the ones who currently reside in that land that was occupied and taken over by the Rothschilds with the Balfour Declaration during World War II. Now, they won't mention you that stuff. They'll just give you a little stuff about Mossad and CIA, right? Here's another guy, Ian Carroll. Has anyone heard of this character? Well, Ian Carroll is a co-host with Candace Owens. And you can even see in his logo, he's got the C and the C frontwards and backwards for 33 coded. For anyone out there that doesn't know, he's a guy who's on Candace Owens. He's on Joe Rogan. What more do you need to know? To get on Joe Rogan, you got to be in the club, okay? You're not getting on Joe Rogan, even if you organically have 500,000 subscribers. You're not getting an invite on the Joe Rogan show. And what's he up to? Well, he's wearing the red bracelet too. And he's playing his role of being anti-Israel while wearing the Kabbalah bracelet right in front of everybody's eyes. Isn't it interesting that Candace Owens and now Ian Carroll, who are working together are suggesting that Charlie Kirk was secretly anti-Israel and that he was killed by Israel, because that's the conspiracy they want you to follow. This is a message from Ian Carroll to Charlie Kirk 4 days before he was supposedly assassinated. Jesus defeated death so you can live. And Ian says, and you dedicated your life to serving the people who killed him. Yet he's wearing that bracelet. So again, you might say, why are these agents wearing these bracelets? Why are these agents showing us that they're actually partying? Well, they don't expect you to notice these things. Remember, signs and symbols, that's all what conspiracy nuts talk about. Oh, just because we're holding up the 666 hand sign or doing the triangle power or doing an all-seeing eye, oh, no worry. Those people are nuts. That stuff's not real. And they know that you'll just listen to them and you'll just dismiss them exposing themselves right in front of your face. But these people are playing this role because, again, the more that Israel starts to get blamed for these things and conspiracies swirl about Israel being blamed, and Israel should be blamed. Israel is behind it. Okay? Israel's the machine of the beast. They run it all. These people were outspoken now against them. All they're going to do, people like Candace Owens and, who's the other guy you guys, Nick Fuentes, you guys keep asking me about. They're acting and act the way they act so that they can bring in anti-Semitic laws and the Noahide laws and protect those people from free speech. When they're in the club, they're just doing it to get you on board so that way they can have more stuff out there and there'll be more talk, mainstream talk about how all of a sudden conservatives are blaming Israel for Charlie Kirk's assassination, right? This person said it best on Twitter. You can tell Ian Carroll and Candace Owens are over the target and are threats to the powers that be because they don't have their YouTube accounts anymore. Oh, wait, right? Because these people are talking about the same things that I've talked about for many years and many others, exposing the Talmud and the Zohar and the Kabbalah, right? Well, they're not necessarily going into detail about that stuff. But they're out there speaking anti-Israel. Their channels are fine. They're safe. There's no hate speech. Well, why? Oh, because they're bigger than everybody? Oh, we can't take them down. Oh, I had 500,000. I've had over millions of subs if you combine all the channels, and so have many other people out there because they're protected. Tucker Carlson, too, right? And again, we've seen the Kabbalah bracelet on people like Jared Kushner, who, again, conveniently, I believe, lived at one point in time at an address that was 666. We've seen even the Roseanne. Roseanne credits Kabbalah for her spiritual transformation, but what does Roseanne do? She pretends to be this conservative, right? She's on the conservative side, does the all-seeing eye symbolism all the time. I've exposed Roseanne over and over and over again, the Black Eye Club and everything else, and then they send Roseanne out on her podcast and these big podcasts to talk about how people are crazy who believe in the Black Eye Club and putting your hand over there. The photographer just told me to put my hand over the eye. That's why there's pictures of me doing this bizarre all-seeing eye and every other celebrity out there. Oh, none of you said I don't want to do it. None of you said, what's this for? This is weird, right? All right, because that's part of the problem that they're dealing with, is that the internet gives them so much control, but it also has cost them control because there's a lot of people who have woken up thanks to the internet, because it used to be people would travel around and go speak at churches and nobody even knew who they were. And they were talking about New World Order and all this stuff. It's a small group of people. But since the internet, of course, which is for their benefit, they've gained so much access to all of us. They've gained all of the things that we're thinking that we write online. They've literally gained access to your mind, right? What you shop, what you do, every single thing, where you go, the locations you post. But the negative of it, which is what they're trying to get rid of now, how people have woken up to Freemasonry, the Kabbalah, the Synagogue of Satan. Those are things that they've, that they're very upset about, but they expect it, but not to the degree that it's happened. So that's why they need to bring in the digital ID and censorship laws and arrest people for looking into conspiracy, because they would lose all their power. So the alt-right media, again, fully controlled. Russell Brand's another perfect example. I'm going to go back to Erika Kirk's post about the red bracelet in a second, but it just shows you how it filters down, right? She's talking about Charlie Kirk with a red bracelet, right? She never forgets red bracelet. Tucker in the red bracelet. We got the other character, Ian Carroll, Roseanne, all these people. And Roseanne, again, is an alt-right, media personality now. And Russell Brand's a perfect example, too, of how dumb, and how easy it is to manipulate Christians. I'm a follower of Christ. But let's just be real. How dumbed down are most of these people? They're listening to Russell Brand. Christians who are like, he's a Christian. Is all it takes for somebody to pretend to get baptized for you to believe that they're a Christian? Guy's got 33 tattooed on his wrist. I mean, do we have to continue? I've broken this guy down so many times, too. Got the Israel Star of Rafah on his wrist there, right? But they'll tell you that that's not what it is. Then he even writes, this is my Messiah complex bracelet. Okay, so he's got a Messiah complex bracelet because he thinks he's a Messiah. Again, and just like Trump With the Epstein photos, he's been on planes, private planes with Diddy, who they all believe is a pedo, because everybody in Hollywood is, right? But he gets a free pass. Was dating and married to Katy Perry, who's an open witch that we all know about. Best buddies with Yuval, who openly talks about humans being wastes and how they're going to replace all of us. And of course, Getting Under Our Skin is the name of his podcast that him and Yuval like to talk about. And then they talk about how they want to get under our skin so that they can contact trace us for the rest of our lives. Right? And of course, there's every single picture you could possibly imagine of Russell Brand showing you all seeing eye symbolism, devil horns, you name it. Every symbol possible. This guy's got the most on him. But all it took was, look, there's Russell in the water. He's getting baptized. He's a new man, right? And people go, who are you to say? Why would they pretend? Why would Charlie Kirk pretend to be a Christian? Well, let's think about this. Would you care as much if Charlie Kirk was an atheist? No, you wouldn't as a Christian. Would you care as much if he followed Buddha? No, you wouldn't. If he was Muslim, would you care? You probably wouldn't listen to him, right? But since he's Christian and he constantly says these things, it draws you in to him. He gives you truth when he speaks as far as common sense about transgenders and everything else. But if he didn't pretend, and Russell Brand didn't pretend to be Christians, how else would they lure you in? You would find people like me, other people who are speaking about these things and realize, wait a minute, this whole thing is a trap for Christians. It's a trap for followers of Christ. They want to bring in the Noahide laws to enslave and end Christians and bring out the guillotines. Oh, okay. So they have to pretend because that's how they gain your trust. So that's exactly what this is. And people need to realize that they're being played and they have been being and getting played. So back to the post. She's got goat and red bracelet in there. And, she goes on to say every day at the end of the thing here, this is one of the last photos taken of you before you were murdered. I look at it and I can't help but see excellence. You're in your element. You're in athlete mood, training for this exact moment, mind, body, and soul. I mean, this is lunatic talk, but, this resonates with the sheeple. But what are you talking about? Your husband was shot in the throat. You're in athlete mood. Is he? We didn't dodge the bullet. I don't know what kind of athlete. I was kidding, obviously. There's no bullet to dodge, but nobody can really dodge a bullet. We're not Neo here. But you're in athlete mood? Huh? Training for this exact moment? This is your Jordan photo? What? Huh? So she ties this ridiculous theory and so she can openly talk about goat, right? And red bracelets, right? I mean, these people couldn't be more controlled. I don't know what more people actually need to see. You can go through all the videos I've done on this. There's things that should raise your suspicion immediately. You don't have to agree with me on everything. That's not what this is about. It's not me saying, I'm right, you're wrong, let me tell you. Gotta understand the news is fake, okay? It's fake. It's not fake news. It's produced news, like a movie production. That's what it is. They produce the stories. They produce the shootings. They carry them out in the real world. They have actors in place, all groomed through Freemasonry, Eastern Star, Dee Malay for the children, Job's daughter, Rainbow Girls. If you get how it works, then you start going, oh, wow. And then you look at the event and you go, okay, well, let's look at it. Maybe, could somebody have realistically shot him? Of course. Of course. God, we still have free will. Someone could have walked up to him and did it. Well, immediately people's suspicions were raised when it happened. It happened from so far away. The way that the blood squirted out, the pumping of his chest, nothing behind him, didn't blow him back 10 feet. Okay, so then you start there, right? No ambulance, no medic, no crime scene. Carried out, the trap door underneath the table that's conveniently located right in that spot, right? And then the reaction, the response of how people are unhinged, insane over this. Canceling one another. Conservatives now calling for free speech removal of Democrats, just like Democrats called it for conservatives during COVID, right? Do you get it yet? They carry these events out so that we do these things to one another. It's easy to see. People should be able, and you want to debate if he's alive, if he's not, did the Mossad get him? I mean, you really think, he served, by fake whacking him, he serves just as much of a purpose as really whacking him. But you could tell by Erika's behavior that, one, they're not really married because she's making you think that these are detailed stories. She's trying to give you full descriptions. We played basketball on the court. You had a bracelet. You did. So you feel, oh, wow, that was one of their first dates. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right? Nobody's suspicious about the story itself, how fake it sounds, how she's projecting so much, leaning on the coffin. I love you, rubbing the hands, crocodile tears. I mean, come on. Guys on Air Force One, nobody knows what happened at the hospital, right? No biopsy, none of it. These are things that just raise your suspicion because in a normal crime, these are all things that get looked at and observed, and people scream for these things. during normal crimes. They watch crime shows and they go, they better do this. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why didn't they let them on the crime scene? Why did they touch the body? Oh, but with this, we're supposed to believe because they showed it to us in the news and told us that it all happened. That's what they expect with Sandy Hook. That's what they expect with everything. And that's, again, what they want to remove. People who are questioning the news because then they lose their power over your mind. They can't convince you to want to strip yourself and fellow citizens of the human rights that we have and give all our power up to the government. So Erika Kirk, just more of the charade out there. I wanted to cover just the goat mentioning and the red bracelet. Can't make it up for people who follow my channel for years. I mean, can you make it up? I mean, this is stuff I point out all the time. The goat, and we see the references to goat yoga, right? And she's mentioning the goat in this post and her, oh man, and the red bracelet too. Had to mention that, huh? Where's this red bracelet? I don't see him. Oh, he had a red bracelet on that nobody knows about that talked about how great of an athlete or something he is. Yeah, we all know what the red bracelet is. Come on, darling. I mean, is she really the darling though? I mean, should I say handsome? I don't know. I got to be careful here. I already got to, well, depending on where you're watching. On the website, we don't have to worry, but other platforms already got a strike for bullying her, right? And probably going to be the way it is moving forward. The protecting of Erika Kirk. All her sheeple will come and they'll strike down people who criticize Erika Kirk, right? We'll watch how this character gets elevated now. We're already seeing it, right? A mother figure. What is this, Mother Teresa? Because her husband got shot in the throat? You know, if your husband gets hit by a train, are you also a mother figure to the world? I mean, what, huh? Nobody thinks, right? This is stuff that gets fed to them, and they just, oh, yes, and they repeat it. Oh, yeah, she's like a mother figure. Watch, they'll put up like 10 articles out that she's a mother figure, and then some of the sheep will go to work Monday, and they'll go, I know, she's like a mother figure. Isn't she so strong? Strong? You suspicious about how she's behaving? Is that courage and strength, or are you getting duped? Looks like duping the light more than strength. Unbelievable. I thank everybody for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families, as always.